I'm going to meet Frazer from MEVO. I'm going to take a drive in Audi e-tron. So I'm going to do a bit of a car review and talk about the MEVO company and what they do. Excited to test drive any electric car, and when I went to the electric car show where we were taking people for rides, it was really exciting to go for rides in all the different cars. So that's what we're going to do today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Frazer Black.
So I'm Frazer, and my job within MEVO really is to just kind of talk to our customers about our product and take people out for journeys and sort of day-to-day stuff. I look after our customer relationships and our marketing as well.
In the Audi e-tron today, and we're taking a drive with Frazer from MEVO, and I've never driven this car before, so I'm going to have a quick appraisal of all of the bits and pieces. And so got some meters. Oh, you got kind of like an electric charge and efficiency. I presume that works just like a kind of like in a hybrid car, gives you regen?
Absolutely, yeah. So within the green, sort of between 20 and 40% is where you're sticking within the battery, and then as soon as you start heading towards the orange and then the dark orange, so the boost is when it's going to engage the petrol engine.
Okay, so if you floor it, will it go over to petrol mode?
Not natively, so the battery in the e-tron is enough that if you put your foot down, it'll still stick within the battery.
Okay.
But once you sort of top out, I've been told, over the kind of 150, 160 kilometre range, then it'll start putting the power back in through the petrol engine as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think just for where we're going to drive today, we're just on Oriental Parade, which is downtown in Wellington City, and I think we should go down the beachfront, the waterfront, and then maybe go up the hill onto Mount Vic, and then we can take in the view and then come back down.
Sounds great.
Great. Awesome. Okay, so I don't even know where. So I think we're already going. Power looks like it's already on. So am I already just to jump in gear and drive?
Almost. So what you need to do, if you push your foot down on the foot brake.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you've got your start stop button, which is just down by my knee, down there.
Down. Oh right, down here.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I was expecting that to be, somewhere around where you would normally find the key.
It caught me the first time we were driving them out of the Audi dealership.
Great. Okay, so let's go for a reverse, and hopefully we should be ready to go. Parking brake is this one.
Yep. Down.
Okay. So electronic parking brake. I think the Hyundai and the i3 were like that as well. I've been driving. Oh, hang on, European car. Everything's around the other way.
Yes, it is.
I love that. It's always fun to see the differences and things. Oh, and the people walking behind us talking on their cell phones didn't know that the car was running.
That's one thing we catch a lot, is that people will just walk around this car park and not hear the cars at all, just because they're so goddamn quiet.
Yeah, I think it's a note of driver caution when you're driving an EV, that you have to be more careful of other people around you. What I kind of like about my Leaf is it has the pedestrian warning system, which plays like a high-pitched tone.
One of our big priorities is being a part of the EV community in New Zealand in particular. As it sort of starts to form, it's more than just sort of a petrol station here and there. It is really a community, particularly with the early adopters that are buying their own electric cars like you have.
Yeah.
And so if we're able to support them by putting in sort of public access electric chargers alongside our MEVO pods, it means that we can have kind of advocates who drive electric cars themselves around if our members are taking the cars out and they potentially haven't driven one before. So just having that community nearby is really, really important.
I was just seeing how the power was driving uphill. So on this here, this car's got plenty of power, and you can feel it. It's like it's no problem driving up these hills and getting around the twisty bits. Does it got little paddles on the steering wheel? Is that for, does that adjust regen, or does it change gears, or change the
So in
something?
when it's moving into petrol mode,
Yeah.
you can use those and put the car into what amounts to a kind of a faux manual mode.
Okay.
You can shift up and shift down as you need.
Right.
I don't personally use them. The car's pretty good at sort of keeping control over itself.
We'll just be lazy and drive real close
for
up. And then we'll jump out and take a little walk up the top.
Yeah, sounds good.
Get some shots of the city. One of the really great things that you use cars for, social stuff, hanging out with your friends and family, all that kind of stuff. That's the promise of cars that they sell you the car on when you see the ad. Going on a journey with your family, or hanging out with your friends, or seeing the countryside. So
No, for sure. And that's sort of part of where we've been positioning MEVO. Is like it's all well and good to have like a car on demand, and I think people really understand sort of the concept of that. I mean, people are familiar with Uber and things like that as well. Transport on demand isn't a new service, but being able to go out for a drive when you need it without, say, owning a car, particularly if you live in Wellington City where it's not necessarily all that feasible to own one,
yeah,
selling that journey instead and selling that sort of freedom to go out and have fun with your friends and be social, that's our product, really. We're not selling a car, we're selling an experience.
yeah. Well, we're going to jump out and go for a walk up the top and check out the view. It's a perfect day today for that. Okay, so I had to look at all the controls and go like, oh, this is how you get into park, and this is how you turn the power off, and how to apply the parking brake. So it's always like funny when you drive a car you've never driven before, whether the controls are obvious. I would never have found the start stop button over by the gear selector. That wasn't going to happen. No, I thought it would be here.
Well, that's kind of where you expected it, right? Like,
Yeah.
just because of the way the cars were always designed, it's like it is where the key used to go, right?
Yeah. I in my car, I don't know how many times I've got in and out of it now, maybe 20 or 30 times, because I've only had it for less than a week. And I keep looking at the side of the where I put the key in for my old car, and it's like, oh yeah, it's not there, but I'm getting, one day it will become natural, and I'll just go for the button without having to look to find it. Yeah. So one of the things about the MEVO Car Share is I actually didn't understand how the keys for the car work. I had a feeling that it was something to do with the app, and just as we went to jump out of the car then, I was asking, oh, have you got the key, because I don't have it. So I'll now show you where the key is hiding.
Sure. So when you're on a trip, once you want to stop and get out and go for an explore, do shopping, whatever it is that you're doing, we have the key hidden in the glove box. So from here you've got the key, and we've also got a fuel card, so if it's running low on fuel you can top it up on our account, so you don't pay for any of that. But basically you pull the key out and our system detects that the key's not there now, so I can go out and I can do whatever I need to do. But before I end my trip, the car will take a look and see if the key's been put back in, and it'll give you a quick warning if you've left it in your pocket, which I've done on more than one occasion.
So will it send you a text or an alert or something like that?
So within the app, when you go to cancel when you go to end your trip, rather, it'll pop up with an error message, and a voice will play in the car as well, just reminding you what's missing and what needs to be put back.
Okay, so there's definitely some special hardware in this car.
Oh yes, yeah. So we've got the MEVO kind of magic box, which handles the unlocking and locking of the car when you start and end your trip. Along with that as well, we've got the sensor, which is just up on the windscreen there, and that sensor is what reports the GPS location of the car, and it's got a couple of lights on it as well, which display if the car's been booked or if it's available.
Oh, okay. So from the outside you can see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, we'll have a quick look at that when we jump out of the car.
And then there's a speaker beneath the seat on your side as well, on the driver's side, and that'll welcome you to your trip when you first jump in, and then after that it'll only play if there's a warning or something happens.
Oh, right. Oh, that's cool. Orange means that the car is currently in use. Yep. That's because we're using it. There's the kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say downtown, Mount Vic and Tiaro parts of Wellington.
Yeah. Sort of over in distance. You've got Victoria University as well.
Everybody who lives in Wellington is no stranger to steps, like if you've lived in one of those suburbs. There's the CBD. So we started down there by the marina in the middle of the picture. So we've just basically just come up the hill, got the high-rise buildings, all the office and governmental buildings, corporate headquarters. And right over there on the other side got Petone and Lower Hutt. So the ferry that we saw in the harbour on the other side goes to the South Island, and that you have to go right around the side of those mountains. But over there's the way through, and you can get out into the Cook Strait. So that's sort of the Southern Ocean. If you go in a straight line down that way, you'll end up at Antarctica. So the airport's there in the middle of the picture. And that's if you're coming into Wellington by plane, you'll come in that way, and you can see that the middle of the city it's really only 10 minutes in a taxi, or 15 minutes on the bus or something like that. Yeah, enough. I'll just get this. Yeah, it's a great looking car. I'm not certain if it's totally exactly the same shape as the one my other brother has. But,
they tend to change little bits here and there.
Yeah.
Even so this is one of our first ones that we got. The second generation that we got a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The lights are different and the form is slightly different, and they've kind of taken a harder line with some of the edges and some of the ridges across the side.
Okay.
Yep.
So now I'm going to have a go and see if I can get the order of sequence of operations correct for starting the car. I'm going to go foot on brake, and I'm going to press the start stop. Yeah, lights, cameras in action have happened. Then go straight for reverse and indicate using the indicators rather than the window wipers, which is sometimes the popular style. And nothing happened. Oh, the handbrake. I didn't do that. Or did I do it wrong?
No, that was absolutely perfect. So the handbrake in these ones are funny. It's not a traditional handbrake in any sense of the word. So if you put your foot down on the accelerator at any point while the handbrake's on, it'll just turn off.
Ah.
Yeah.
So should I have, if I just pushed the accelerator, then would it have disengaged the...
It would have, yes.
Right.
But if you just lift your foot off the brake, it'll hold you on the handbrake until an action's taken.
Should we go... Which way can we go down? We basically kind of have to go back the same way we came, otherwise we'll end up taking a tour through Newtown, which will be... Then I'll be late for 2 appointments in a day, and that'll be so awesome. Oh, look at that. There you go. It's pretty awesome. It is a massive improvement over a regular petrol car. The massive improvement over a regular petrol car. Actually, if I go city centre way, I can turn. Probably a slightly different way. Yeah, use a car sharing company. You don't even have to have a car at all. You can get out of all of those things. And if that's still not enough for your politics, then buy a cargo bicycle and ride your cargo bicycle to the supermarket to get your groceries.
In New Zealand, our grid exceeds 80%, often exceeds 90% renewable energy. So it is truly doing significantly less harm on the environment. The good thing about sort of where we've positioned ourselves as well, so we offset our carbon emissions by 120%.
Wow.
So we're the world's first completely not only carbon neutral but actually climate positive. So we just bought our first tract of carbon carbon credits, which is produced through sustainable forestry.
When I flew up to Auckland to pick up the car, and I bought a carbon credit on my airline ticket, which was just a box that you can tick, and it's like $1.50. It's like nothing.
Absolutely.
Once you've paid for the price of that flight, it's 1% of the price. So it's crazy to think that looking after the environment might take 1% extra cost. And what do you get for that? You get to have stable weather, and you get to have crops growing properly, and you get to have your city's not flooded. We don't know how much. There's different people debate how much of all of that will happen, but But you know, a 1% cost, there's a lot of potential upside for that incredibly tiny piece of cost. So again, that's a bit to politics and ethics. You know? Such a long traffic light. So.
Oh, I know, right?
Wouldn't it be awesome if all of the cars could just cooperate between themselves and just drive through the intersection while coordinating and missing each other?
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
We're having an interesting conversation about sort of what even simple things like traffic lights and pedestrian crossings look like in an environment where cars are self-driving.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to take quite a bit of time for every single car on the road to be a self-driving car.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we'll ever actually get to that where it's 100%, because driving a car is such an enjoyable experience. It'll become more of a hobby thing. So you can eliminate all the sorts of driving situations where you're just commuting to work. And then when you want to take a car out for a drive, you'll actually be able to do that and really enjoy it and it become an experience. But whether you need to bother with traffic lights at all, whether you need to bother with pedestrian crossings, or whether people will just be able to walk out and cross the road, and cars will detect them and just slow down so that there's always a hole.
Yeah. It's funny, you see those things where people have these sort of logic puzzle things of like, if the computer driving your car needs to make the choice of swerving and avoiding this and running into this thing instead, I think all of those things I have a computer science degree, so I did logic.
Yeah.
But they actually are making the mistake that the problem with all of those situations is that the car is driving inappropriately fast for the conditions.
Exactly.
If you're driving around a snowy mountain road and a kid eating an ice cream jumps out in front of you, the thing is that shouldn't happen. If you're driving on a snowy mountain road, you shouldn't be driving really fast because you're driving on a snowy mountain road. You know, if anything goes wrong, you're going to be over a cliff and, you know, sliding on ice or whatever.
Exactly.
And if you're driving around an area where children should be eating ice cream, then you're driving inappropriately fast again. So it's like a type of, I really don't know where I'm going. Around the block?
Yeah, just around the block.
It's a type of false argument. And if, you know, people just get obsessed about the it's sort of in a way it's humorous, but in fact they're doing everybody a disservice by having a conversation about a thing it's not real. In my opinion, I don't think that's real.
No, it's not.
Like look at how fast I'm driving. I'm driving at 20 kilometers per hour here because this is a place where everybody is walking around and not eating ice cream because it's a bit cold today. But they're walking around, you know, with their friends and family. And doing all the kinds of things people do out in the middle of the city, and 20 kilometers per hour in this car park does seem to be the right speed.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a safe speed for this type of build-up environment. And when you're out on a motorway, a kid eating an ice cream isn't going to leap in front of you on a motorway because children nobody's allowed to walk down a motorway. That's why it's called a motorway. You know? Yeah. So the false logic and the false options in the logic. I don't know. It's probably a very beautiful, clear way to say that. Maybe I'll make a YouTube video about it and animate a paper. And is it gonna just? There we go. It's funny. I never understand whether this switch is meant to be pushed up or down, because like on a classic handbrake, I guess you pull the lever up.
Yeah, and I think that's what they've gone for with it. Because if you push it down, that's the kind of the physical action of pushing in the button on a handbrake, pushing it down.
Yeah.
But it's not the same action, so it's almost whether it's more confusing having it like that or not.
Yeah, it's like what my brain expects when like I have some sort of like muscle reflex of how to operate a handbrake. Whatever it is, that isn't it. Because I think the Hyundai I couldn't get it right, the BMW I couldn't get it right, and in this car I couldn't get it right. So whatever it is, it might be fine for other people, but it seems to be clearly wrong for me. Maybe I should say something about just a conclusion about the car.
That's good.
Like I really like the styling. It's all really modern. The controls feel great. Like the steering wheel is like, it's got a good premium feel. I like the styling of these vents. They're like a kind of classic. Sort of like, they seem kind of like a more old-fashioned automotive feel. But when you've got a classic good design, there's no reason to make things different. If this is what you expect to see in a car, it's what you expect to see in a car. It's good. You can alter in all different directions. I don't even twist these around to adjust them, I guess. Yeah. It's the metal trims, they look nice and they feel nice. I don't need to try the plastic. The plastic's got a kind of a slightly spongy soft feel, so that's quite good. You get those sort of hard molded plastics in some cars, they just don't seem, they're utilitarian, and that's fine, because for a lot of people cars just are utilitarian. Yeah, I think my other camera went to sleep.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, it seems like a great car. Like I think that it would be a good choice for a family car. Looks like it's got spaces to put 2 child seats in the back, which is important for a lot of people. And is it got a? Can't see. Is it got a? Do people fold the car down and?
Yeah, you
put
can
things
do.
in the back?
So I'm not aware of any users who've yet done it.
Yeah.
But you can bring all those seats down, and
Yeah.
I've done it myself.
Yeah.
For moving house.
Yeah.
but-
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So yeah. That's a good reason for a car share if you need to move around the town, and you can just get the car for a couple of hours, put everything in it,
Absolutely.
and move around. Awesome. Oh, well, thanks very much, Frazer, and thanks for letting me drive the car, and it's been fun, and it's been a perfect day for it. Well, it was rainy. Man, we had a run of really.
Oh God,
we've been planning to do this video. It seems like maybe for even more than a month, and I think it almost feels like it's been stormy every weekend.
Yep, I swear it has been.
Yeah,
It's been miserable.
Yeah, it's been like either super cold or super windy. It's been so crazy. Well, pouring with rain as well. Yeah, amazing. Great. Well, thanks very much.